This video is going to be all about reflections. You're going to have to do 3 modules on Khan Academy. The first is reflect points, then determine reflections, and then third, reflect shapes. So let's start with the first module. Reflect points. Okay. Point D prime is the image of D, negative 2, 1, under a reflection across the x-axis. So this is where it started, and this is where it ended, and what they're asking us to do is reflect it across the x-axis. What you will have to do is write this rule down. Whenever you're having a reflection over the x-axis, the rule is that you have the xy of your original coordinate point, and then it's going to change into x negative y. So here's your example. Let's say your original point was 3, negative 5. Well, the 3 is going to stay the same, and the 5 is going to change into a positive 5. And that's because if you take a negative to negative 5, we know that 2 minus signs or 2 negatives will turn into a positive. Okay, so over the x-axis, this is the rule. So let's go back and look at our reflecting points. Okay, so our original was negative 2, 1, and the x is going to stay the same, so we're going to keep it at negative 2. And then our y is changing to a negative, so our y will be negative 1. Okay. Plot the image of point P under reflection across the y-axis. So here, what we're going to do, because we want to reflect it, it's almost as if we could take this, imagine you could take this coordinate grid and fold it in half on the y-axis and be able to poke a hole through where this is. Where would it be on the other side over here? So what we're going to do is look that it's on negative 6. On the x-axis, it's going to stay on the same number on the y-axis, but it's going to move to the 6 over here. Okay. Plot the image of A under reflection across line L. Don't get caught up with it. They're calling this line L. It's really just like a y-axis. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away. On the right, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 units away on the left, and that's what a reflection is like. Okay, this, they call it M, but it's really a horizontal line, so it's going to act more like an x-axis. Again, I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So beneath the line, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and that's reflecting points. Now we're going to go to determine reflections. No, the regular one. Okay. Draw the line of reflection that reflects triangle ABC onto A prime, B prime, C prime. So they have the original image, and then they have the image after the reflection. And what you're saying is, where was that line of reflection? In this case, the line is at x equals 1. So let me draw that for you. Okay. And the reason I know this is because if you look at this line and then you look at these points, they're equidistant from the line. So if I start at the line and go to B, I get 2. And then if I try to go to B prime, I also get a distance of 2. If I start at the line and I go to C, to C, I went 1 unit over. If I start at the line and go to C prime, I went 1 unit over. So they're equidistant from this line. That's how I know that this is the line of reflection. Okay, here same thing. So I'm going to estimate, I think it's at y equals -2, but I'm going to draw it and then I'm going to count. Well, this is 2 units away from A, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from A prime. So I am way off. Let me move it to y equals -1 and see if that'll work. Okay, so now it's 1, 2, 3 units away from A, and it's 1, 2, 3 units away from A prime. Good, I should. Okay, now let's look at, this is a curious shape. Okay, so the blue without the little prime is the original, and then the pink is the prime. I am going to estimate that it's going to be when x equals -2, but let's look at this. Okay, so if we start at the line, we go 2 to the left, we get A prime, 2 to the right, we get A. So that's good. Let's look at D. We go 2 to the left, we have D, 2 to the right, we have D prime. Okay, and it looks consistent across the board, so check. Excellent. And then here again, going to switch it to x equals 3. 1 to the right is C, 1 to the left is C prime. And once you get the hang of this, you can just check one point, just check that they're equidistant, and then you're good to go. Now we want to be able to reflect shapes. This is reflecting points, determining reflections, reflect shapes. This is what we want. And this will be in your assignments category on Khan Academy, so you won't have to worry. So now what we have to do is we're going to need to plot the image of quadrilateral ABCD under a reflection across the y-axis. So let's look at what this is going to be. Okay, it wants me to go across the y-axis. Let me look back at my rules for reflection. And actually, I'm just going to give you a minute right now. I want you to copy down in your notebooks the top of this grid, okay? So ignore the bottom. Don't look at rotations today. That's not what we're doing today. We're only doing reflections. I want you to copy over the x-axis and everything over here, over the y-axis, over the origin, and over y equals x. Please do that now. Okay, going back to reflecting shapes. So we're looking at these shapes. We have coordinate A, coordinate B, coordinate C, and coordinate D. Let me see if it's possible to open up my sketch pad and delete. Okay. I apologize. Let me pull this up. Quick notes. Add page. Okay. Okay, what I want to do is look at the different coordinates. So I have coordinate A, and A is that when x is 2, y is -3. And looking at the rule for when you reflect across the y-axis, the x is going to become negative, but the y is going to stay the same. So after the reflection, I should expect to have a negative x, which it's +2, so this is going to be -2. And then my y is going to stay the same. So this is -3, it's going to stay -3. Now let's look at letter B. B looks like it is when x is 3, y is -6. If I reflect this across the y-axis, which is what I'm doing, the x will become negative. So instead of 3, it's going to be -3, but the y is going to stay the same, so it'll be -6. And then if I look at point C, I have when x is 5, y is -4. Okay. Again, my x is going to become negative, so the x will be -5. The y stays the same at -4. D, it's when x is 4, y is -2. And then it will be -x, y. So it'll be -4. The y stays the same. It'll be -2. Okay, so let's go ahead and plot these points. Plot A is going to change into -2, -3. So how am I going to do this? I want to move these over. -2, -1, -2, -3. Okay, and then the next point is at -3, -6. So I'm going to go -3, -6. The next point is going to be at -5. I can't move this down. -5, -4. And then the last point is going to be at -4, -4, -2. Okay. So I'm going to move this to -4, -2, and then this is going to move to -5, -4. Okay, there you go. There's the reflection. Now, some of you may say, you know what, Ms. Brock, I don't need these rules. I can just look at the picture and I can reflect it across. The only problem is that sometimes on the test, it doesn't give you the picture. It just shows you the coordinate points and tells you where you're reflecting it. And then you have to be able to give the coordinate points, which is so important to be able to do and to know that. Here, the line reflection across line L, what I would do is I would just treat it like a y-axis. This is more of a visual thing. So I know that B is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is going to be B. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the line. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to be right here. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be right there. And then this looks like it's right here. Oh, no, maybe right here. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're good. This is a reflection. I already assigned this. I'm sorry. I was trying to click check answer. Okay. Good. I got a 75%. So hopefully next time I will get 100. So today, what you want to focus on is being able to do these rules.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you so much. Happy Halloween to you.
You're welcome.
Internet Explorer. No. Where is my recording?